extremely useful and very practical scenario. So you have 3 distribution center. So this is your distribution center, and this is your, and you have to deliver product to the 4 customers. So this is your customers. Stop me anytime if you feel like I'm going fast and doesn't make sense, because if you don't visualize, there is no point to teach, right? This is, I taught this thing hundreds of times and I do not have any problem, but I noticed that, and as I mentioned before, during MBA students, they feel this is extremely hard. The reason they don't visualize it. Without visualizing, if you try to do in Excel, you may be able to do the lab or homework, but you will not make it practical. So it's very important you think from practical point of view. So first of all, distribution centers, it means just like a factory, right? And from here, this line which you're saying, you can see here, distribution center. From here, you can go here, you can go here, you can go here, and you can go here. These are called path, or which we can call road or path. So this is road 1, road 2, road 3, like that. Make sense or no? So technically speaking, if I am here customer, this is my customer number 4. Customer 4 can receive item from 3 distribution center. Do you guys agree? Yes or no?
Yes.
Correct. And one distribution center, let's assume distribution center 1, can supply to one of 4 or all 4 customers. Do you agree? Now, in this example, we are making like that. So you can see here, this is one distribution center, 4 outgoing. Second distribution, 4 outgoing. Third distribution, 4 outgoing. Now, common sense question, okay? Very simple, very powerful question. If these guys are manufacturing 10 items, this guy is manufacturing 20 items, this guy is manufacturing 30 items, how much item this guy can get? Please actively participate. You guys are still slow today. I need active. Oreb, please participate, right? Everyone has to be quick, because remember, we are virtual. The reason we are virtual, we are quick, right? So how much this customer 4 can get?
60.
Depending on demand at that place.
Maximum 60. Yes or no?
Yes.
Very good. Why? Because 10, 20, and 30. You are getting 10 max here, 20 max here, 30. Now the question is, should I get 60? And that is depend on demand. That's called constraint, right? If the demand is high, I might get it. If demand is lesser 10, if demand is 10, then question is, this guy can fulfill me everything, then I don't have to go for it. But then I need to calculate cost, this path versus this path versus this path. And out of this cost, which one is cheaper, I'll get that. Make sense or no? Can I just select the distribution center without comparing cost? Can I?
Yes, but it's gonna be not smart.
Correct. It's not going to be smart. And what is the LP means? To make you smart decisions. Without LP, you are average. With LP, you are smart. So LP allows you to calculate this, and this, and it will compare. If I transfer 10 item, transfer 10 item, and transfer 10 item, which one will cost least? And based on that, it will select. But when customer is 10, this one is asking 10. At the same time, this customer is asking 15. Now what will happen? Let's say this one is cheapest. Just example. This one is cheapest. So 10 you pick here and you deliver 10 here. But this guy need 15. This guy need 10. Should I deliver here 10 or should I deliver here 10? How would you decide that? Same concept. Should I deliver it here or here? Which one is cheaper? If it is this cheaper, then I'll deliver here. And sometimes it will be delicate balance, because both side equal cost, right? This is humanly impossible. Let me repeat this type of I'm just doing only 3 distributions and I'm talking about 4 customers. Think about Amazon, think about Walmart. They have thousands of customers, means retail store, and they may have 15 plus distribution center, and then in their middle they will have sub centers, right? Now make it complex. For Walmart, there is a China, maybe India, maybe Taiwan, maybe Africa, and from there they're coming to maybe one local places, and maybe New York, maybe Florida. From there they're going to distribution center. From there they might be going through here. From there, so you can see the complexity of that. When you talk about cost, you have to consider entire cost. These type of problem creating may take a day or weeks of time. But once you develop that, you just enter the number and it will spit out the result. The person only will work 1 month of his life. The rest of the thing, he will get money because he will optimize. Of course, he will optimize this model. So when you create this thing, this is called model, and then model will work for Walmart, Amazon, and all lifetime. And that person who does model, sometimes called logistic engineers, supply chain engineers, procurement engineers, or linear problem solving engineers, or solver, all kind of things you can do. Every company will have some kind of thing if you are in a supply chain or distribution. And that's why this model is very, very powerful. Sounds good? Now, in order for me to calculate this cost, I need to consider about road cost. Road cost means how many iPass we have. I need to calculate the fuel cost, right? Fuel, because how much fuel cost, right? Because here, when I'm buying a fuel, how much it is costing. I need to consider truck cost. I need to consider driver cost. I need to consider some other cost. Maybe I need to pay some taxes. All those things accumulated in this road. Makes sense? And same apply for other road. So we need to calculate the road cost, means sometimes we call cost to cost path, right? This one. And then these items are given to you or you have to calculate it. And this supply or demand given to you or you calculate. Now let's come here. So whatever you see here, please understand, whatever you see here, it's an easy picture. This one is easy picture. Very easy. Anybody can see that, right? Now, complex picture is to convert this in a matrix. Convert into matrix, which is, I'm not going to teach you math, but try to understand. So whatever you have A, B, C, I put it here. A, B, C, this side. And whatever I have client, I put it here. Now what is happening? What is happening here? Please understand. A, B, C, so these are my distributions and these are my customers. Please pay attention because it will help a lot. All right. So let's see here. A, B, C, and D, E, F, G. So if I go to A to D, so that's a path. That's a one path. In that case, distribution one, customer one. So we call 1, 1. So this is that one. So you are going from 1, 1. This is 1. This is 1. But if you are going from here to here, so this is 1. This is 2. So this is called 1, 2. So 1 is here and this is 2, which is here. Give me thumbs up if you are understanding so far. Right? This is 1 and this is 3. Right? So it means this path is this one. This is 1, still 1, because you are going from distribution center and this. Sometimes you will get this type of table. Don't be confused. They are just asking. Try to do for 1 and you will visualize everything. So if I do 1, so 1 is fixed, and then sequence of 1, this is 1, 2, this is 1, 3, 1, 4. and that's why they use ij. What is ij? I means the first, which is here, and j means this side. So if I is 1 and j is going 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I want to do this one, so it's 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4. Very good. And what about this one? So this is 2. So this will be 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, like that. So when I say 2, 4, what does it mean? Number 2, which is this one, and 4 means this one. Very good. This is 2 and this is 4. Very good. Now if I do 3, then entire row, this I is 3, right? That's the first is the I. So everyone will have a 3, 3, 3, 3. But then j is increasing. J start from here 1, 2, 3, 4. So here 3, 1, 3, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4. So if I say 3, 3 means I have 1, 2, 3. So this is 3. 3, 3 means I'm going here. It means C to F. So if I go to C to F, that's a 3, 3 means this value. So what it is showing that this is the cost for this path. So looking this, you can see each path, what would be the cost. Now here they have given us total cost. It means driver cost, it will be fuel cost, it may be truck cost, it may be other cost. They calculated all together. In some example, they might give you similar table. They might give you table. One is a fuel cost table. One may be IPAS table. One may be driver. In that case, you have to do manually addition. You need to manually addition, and then you have to create this matrix. You have to create matrix. So here they have given everything. In some example, they give you separately, which you can do add, and you create a matrix. Any questions so far?
So this is same as transportation problem in operations research.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is the see the way you complement the way you create a model. The same model our UPS is using, same model Amazon is using, same model Walmart is using, and same used by logistics. So like example, if you're getting furniture, Ashley or other, they are also using this. So it depends on, like, if you do factory, factory to store, that is one way, or warehouse to store is one way, or distribution center means you manufacturers, then distributors, and then retailers, you can do, but the concept remains same.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so now we are going to do the exercise. Okay, so first exercise, we are going to do this. Before we do the exercise, I want to make sure you understand. So you can see here, this is our distribution center and these are our customers. So whatever we have received, the cost model, so this is our cost model. So we are using cost model. Whatever they gave us, we just type it. And then please pay attention, because it will be easier if you pay attention. It is so simple. As I said before, Excel is so simple. Creating this model, it takes time. But once you know the model, it's a lot easier. So first you write this thing. So this is given to you. Now you are going to write similarly, copy this model. Please pay attention. You copy this entire structure. You copy this and you paste it here. So copy and paste it here. And once you paste it here, then you can see here, I remove that and I created yellow block. So this entire thing is my change set. Entire thing is my change set. Now you say, what is change set? Why it is entire thing? Because remember we talk about A, B, C and customer D, E, F. What I'm interested in, how do I move? And everything which I do here is the selections of my road, right? Selections of my road. And that is, I want to decide. And this is the cost. So I will decide only based on the cost. Make sense? So if I decide, I don't know, I want to decide. So this entire thing is a change set. So we are creating this is a change set. So far so good, because if I select this, it means B is delivering to E. And if I select this one, means C is delivering to F. So wherever I have item, I am delivering it. Wherever I have item, I am delivering it. Now, if I do this exercise, but if I put here 1, it means I selected this path. And if I do this, means I selected this path. And if I do this, I selected this path. And if I select this path, then if I go here to here, I'm ready to pay this cost. And if I do this to this, it means I'm ready to pay this cost. So looking this thing, this is the cheapest. Do you guys agree? So let's do this way. Looking this is the cheapest path from B to F, right? This is also cheapest and this is also cheapest. So when I run my model, most likely common sense say that it will pick up this path because it's cheapest. It will try to avoid this path because it's more expensive. This is also kind of expensive. But if there is no way, I can move forward, then this will be the last selection. The first selection will be always cheapest. It means if that theory is right, I should expect 1, 1 somewhere here. Means that is selected. And whenever I am not selected, either I will have 0 or I will have empty. Make sense or no? Question so far? Give me thumbs up if you are clear. Otherwise, ask questions. Awesome. Now, so we are clear with the change set because who is going to decide change set? LP solver will decide. Now, what is my objective functions? My objective function is very, very straightforward. Please understand, I'm in a trucking business, transportation business. So I have this distribution center, I have this customer. So if I take this path, then this cost. So basically I need to multiply these with this thing. I need to multiply these with this thing. And when I multiply that cost, I want to decrease or I want to have least cost because distribution center, this is the cost model and this is the path. So if I select this path, then path and its cost, path, it and cost. When I do addition, that cost has to be the least because that's what I'm trying to solve. Are we understanding about objective functions? Give me thumbs up if you're clear. Otherwise, ask questions. So far, so good. Because cost is given, path is not given. We are making a decision which path we need to do. As soon as I find out my path, then I need to calculate the cost and I will be selecting various paths. So I need to do some product. This is A and this is B. I need to multiply that and then that product has to be least. I will not do max, I'll do least. So that's my objective functions. Then you will ask, but where is your constraint? The constraint is, this is the distribution center and you notice the distribution centers are generating 10 item only. So distribution center is generating 10 item only. So if I'm A, no matter where I'm delivering, I cannot deliver more than 10. Do you guys agree? Because I'm generating 10, maximum if I'm doing 10, then I cannot deliver more than 10. What about B? B is also doing the same. So if I do 5 here, 2 here, 3 here, 1 here, it should not be more than 10. So the constraint is clear, crystal clear that all items should be less than 10 because I'm not producing more than 10. If I'm not producing more than 10, then I cannot deliver more than 10. Very good. That is clear. Then what about this one? So these are customers and customer has a demand and they want at least give me what I'm looking for. So I can sell those things. So like example, if customer B say I want 20, then he will be interested in at least give me 20 or more. Let's say E is looking for, let's say 10, then he will say, give me at least 10 or more because demand is 10. But if it is 1 or 2 extra, I'll keep it, but at least give me 10 like that. So if this say I need a 40, then he will give at least give me 40. Make sense? He's not saying give me max 40, right? He's asking my demand is 40. So either you give me 40 or more. 40 is minimum I need. But if you give me more, I'll take it. So that is also another constraint. So far, so good. So one is called capacity constraint. One is a demand constraint. Demand constraint come from customer. Capacity constraint come from factory. So far, so good. Any question here? Now, another constraint. If I take a product, can I take 4.2 product here and 0.8 product here? Can I do that?
No.
No. So there is a special constraint we may need to do is called integer constraint. Integer constraint means when you take the item, you take item full in the sense of either 1, 2, 3, 0, 5 like that, but don't do 1.2, 1.9, 0.8. Don't do that because this solver will try to do mathematic model. But in real life, mathematic model has to be numeric wall. I cannot have human 0.5 here, right? So we can add a unique, integer constraint. Sounds good? So we'll do that. Now if I scroll down, I have done here. So this was given to us. Cost matrix was given to us. Using this cost matrix, we copy and we create a change set. Please understand, don't worry about this one. Don't worry about this one. Okay, these are empty. We'll do in few minutes. So first we made this is exact copy. Whatever the heading we have, this is customer, this is distribution center, we copy that same thing we copy and we remove the data. And then we are saying, let's add a constraint. So we say this is less than 10. So we added all constraint less than 10. So you can see these item, whatever item I do, if I sum this thing, whatever item I do, if I do sum, and that sum is the left hand, has to be less than equal to 10. Why? Because my manufacture unit maximum produce 10. So this is very simple. I just do sum of this has to be less than 10. Sum of this has to be less than 10. And then I do the same thing, greater than equal to, because the demand is 2. So if I sum these of the column, if D is a customer, if D customer gets some item from A, some item from B, some item from C, doesn't matter what item I get, but those total item which I get should be greater than or equal to 2. Greater than or equal to 2, because that's my demand. I need that at least. And same apply here. E is the customer, and customer is getting item from A, B, or C, distribution center. Collectively, that item sum is here, but that has to be greater than or equal to the demand, because customer want this much. So we have to provide. So this side is the customer constraint, which we are doing column base. And this one is supply demand, which is we are using on a row base. And this objective functions is nothing but take this A matrix and B, some product of that should be list. And if you get it, that's your answer. Okay. So right now, I think we are crystal clear. So why don't you do one thing? You have Excel file, which I gave you in your Google class. So please understand, in your Google class, we have Excel file, right? So please download that Excel file. If you have not downloaded, it is under your linear problem solving part 2. In part 2, we are using this file. And from there, we are going to do the exercise. So please download that file and open it. So it will save so much time. You don't have to enter all the metrics and all. I have done pre-work for you, so it will be a lot easier. So this is my raw data. Okay. Let me know if you are able to open it. And this is our the first logistic problem which you see here is this one. This is our cost matrix, and this is our distributions, and this is our customers. Okay, and this is our change set. So I'm going to remove this thing. So I'm going to remove that. This matrix given to us. Okay, this matrix given to us in some example, you will be calculating this matrix. Sometime you have to do manual or Excel, whichever works for you, and you have to calculate the path. Basically from A to D, A to E, right? So path you have to calculate, and they have given to us. So it's kind of easy if they have given to us. Now we know that A, B, and C, the maximum they can deliver is 10. So I'm going to put 10, 10, and 10. So this is the capacity problem. They are doing 10. You may ask why I getting 10, because if you see the problem definitions which we are discussing here, the problem definitions we are discussing here is the demand is here. They have given us here that they can only manufacture 10. It means they manufacture 10, then no matter which path you are going, you cannot do more than 10 here. So that's what we are talking about. And here 2, 4, 12, 11. That's the demand. 2, 4, 12, 11. Am I right? 2, 4, 12, 11. So let's write down here. So this is 2, this is 4, 10, and 11. 2, 4, 10, 11. So that is another thing they have given us. Okay. So it means G as a customer looking for 11 items, F as a customer looking 10 items, F 4 item, and this is 2 items.
It's a 12, okay. Not 11.
Sorry?
2, 4, 12, 11.
Oh, I made a mistake. Oh yeah, you're right. 12. Sorry for that. Thank you. Otherwise my solution would be different. 2, 4, 12, 11. Okay, please do so. So that way you can write. I'm going to write down here demand. So it's easy for me to know. And I'll write down here its capacity. So anybody can understand the capacity, and this is demand. Now we are not sure about this. So what I normally do, I just put 1 just to calculate so you and me can have similar mathematics. Otherwise, if I keep it 0, then sum will be 0 and you will not know that we are doing right or wrong, right? So I put just 1, 1, 1, 1. You can also put 1. You can just put anywhere 1, but I'm putting 1, so that's why my calculation will go smoother. So now here, write down equals sum, and then when you are doing sum here, right, your sum, so you can copy this thing like this. Like this. Let me repeat again. Equals sum, copy this, and like that. So you are summing this thing and press enter. So let me double click here. Please understand, you are saying this sum is nothing but this row sum, like that, and then you just drag it. So you're done here, right? I put 1 just to get your answer, and my answer will come same. That's pretty much it. Otherwise it will come 0. I can put 0 here. There is no, this is just a temporary, because you know it's a change set. It's going to change. Okay. Please stop me anytime if you have questions, and I'll put here capacity constant single quotation less than equal to, single quotation less than equal to, or you just double click here and it will do for you. So this is your conditions. I hope everyone understands that if you only can produce 10, then you cannot deliver more than 10. That's pretty much we are trying to do. Yeah, good. Now here we are going to do the same thing. Let's say equals sum, but this time we are going to do vertical sum, like that. Means we are saying that if customer D is receiving something from A, something from B, something from C, no matter what I receive, that is the sum I'm going to get. So D is receiving something from A, something from B, and something from C. This is what it is. And then once you have that, you just drag this guy, so you get this thing. Okay, so this is your total, you're receiving. So basically you're receiving total from different suppliers, and this is your things. Let me know if you are having any questions. If anything doesn't make sense, please do ask, because this is the sum. I got it, and then I drag it and I created this side. It means each customer is receiving parts from various sources, but the total is here. And here also I want to write here condition. So it's a single quotation greater than equal to, single quotation greater than equal to, and then you can drag this guy here. So it looks pretty good, because this is your demand and you want to really give this item to this customer so they can sell the product, right? That's what we are going to do. Good. Everyone is doing good. Awesome. Now let's write objective functions. And objective function is quite easy. Equals some product, and highlight this entire section, then comma, and highlight this section, only this section. Please see here, there is a 1, 2, and 3 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4 columns, and same apply here, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can easily take this item, multiply this item, take this item, multiply this item, take this item, multiply this, and add. Same apply. Automatically multiplications will happen, so I don't have to do manual multiplications. This is pretty nice function. I really like it, and it will do sum of total. So each item it will respectively multiply, and it will do sum. Close your parenthesis and press enter. So this item I'm normally gonna do blue color, so that's my change set. So at this moment I'll make it bold just to give idea here, B for bold, and this is my objective functions. So I'm ready to now run the solver. Let me know if you are able to. Ready? Yes, no, yes, no. Ready? Okay, so click on that. Now go to data tab, go to solver, data tab solver. If you get an error because we are using old file, because we deleted, just delete whatever you have, just delete. In case if you get an error, don't cry, just delete it. Reset all, maybe that also fine. Reset all, because the file I gave you is old, so you might get some error here initially. So when I click on data solver, I might get an error. Just reset all. Now keep your cursor here and then click on objective functions. So first is the objective functions. We select here. The second we're going to do minimum, because that's what we want. The third we're going to take this one and we'll select the change set, entire change set, right? And then add constraint. When we do add constraint, we'll do L, left and right. Then we add this constraint, that's one constraint. And then we'll add this constraint, which is second constraint. And if needed, we'll add this is the third constraint, that this is the integer value. We'll see how it goes. Okay. So first we select object function minimum, click on change set. Make sure you click here first. Make sure you click. After clicking, highlight that. So that's, oh, sorry, my mistake. I'm sorry. Change set is this one. Sorry for that. This is the change set. So you highlight that. So you selected this is your objective functions minimum, and change set is this one. Now I'm going to click on add. I'm going to click on add. And when I click on add, first is the cell reference, which I'm going to select this one, and then less than equal to, which is already I have, then click on this one. So you can see nicely, easy. You can select here and you can select here and the reference. Now click on add. Awesome. Now if I go here, now you do greater than equal to, click here, and then you do this. So please understand, you are doing this exercise here. So that is this one, greater than equal to, and then you are taking this one. Good. Now we can do add and okay. Sorry, cancel because it's blank now. So now you have everything, and make sure you select simplex here. Simplex here. We are using simplex LP. Already this advanced version does not allow negative, so you cannot have negative value, which is kind of nice. And now do solve and see the magic. So where did this Excel? I have to stop this some reason. So I got 165. Did you guys get 165, or did you guys get something else?
Yes, I got 165.
Amazing, right? It's amazingly done well. Super duper, right? If you do mathematic model, our theory is right. It picked the cheapest path. Do you guys agree? So this is the kind of cursory check that it is understanding or not. And it is really understanding well. It did not take the highest path. Did you notice that? So this way you can also validate your model. That is, your model is doing good or not. It did not select the costly path. It is maintaining the constraint, and it is also meeting the demand. Awesome. Any questions, concerns, doubt? Right? Now ask yourself question, do you need MBA for this? In just maybe 1 hour, you now know transportation and logistic problem. Let me see if I have a couple of examples, which I'll give you homework, so you can knock yourself down, knock yourself off, right? But I think I might have a couple of examples, which is your homework. So yeah, so this is your homework, slide number, whatever it is. This is your homework, okay? And there is one more, right? And there are more. So, and there is a case study which you can work as a group, just like you did in Excel project. You can work. This is the case study for your final LP problem, which is due next week. Again, spend some time. Okay. I'll put some additional exercise in case if you want to do. But when you search about this thing, like example, any problem, it's all MBA related material comes. So example, if I say here, search in Google LP, transportation problem or exercise, right? Maybe PDF file. So if I'm lucky today, see, you can see all our universities, because the only thing they teach in they only teach in and you can see a lot of math involved, a lot of math. So the people who love math, it's a problem in a real life. The people, instructors spend more time in a math and less time in Excel. Now, I understand their concern. I also studied, so I know what they're trying. But those days are gone where you do manually. Today, you have a wonderful tool called Excel Solver. So rather than spending time here, they should spend time here, because no one is going to do manually. But they teach so complex way that people give up. Same concept I explain you, right? At the end of the day, all those math, all those complex math is solved by simple Excel. So why to do all those things? Because books were written 30, 40 years back. So they keep doing, metrics and all those things they do, which I personally think make it harder and harder. That's why majority students drop. You can see how complex it is, right? And this is where they teach. But at the end of the day, you're solving problem. Doesn't matter which tool you use, right? And I'm not saying it's bad, but it's not needed. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. There might be example if they don't even have example. So let me put solver here. Okay. Yeah, this might be. Okay. You see this, they explain the same concept. So you have examples, so you can go over those type of things. I'll put some example so you can do practice. Yep. This is UK. Yeah. Again, no worries. I'll put it, don't worry. So one problem is solved. Can I count everyone is good with that? So we can go to the second problem. Good? Okay. Now, the problem number 2 is assignment problem, I believe. Yeah, assignment. Selection problem. So today we are not going to take a break, by the way, because I have only 3 problems to solve. Once we complete, we're done for the day, and you will have a homework. Because if I take break, it will unnecessarily take a little extra, but if I can complete in 8:30, we should be able to complete this. Because now you're understanding the problem, and I want to make sure we are collectively complete that. These problems are simpler now, because you know the concept of change set very well. This problem is my favorite problem, and one of my like a previous batches, like I would say in 2015 when I was teaching, one gentleman was expert in football, by the way. I'm not expert. So he used concept called, I think, fantasy football. I'm not sure what that means, but he said, like, you know, they have like some kind of teams and they want to compete and all. So when I taught that, he said, "Oh man, you made my day today." Da, 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 da. And he was super excited. And now I understand why he was super excited, because the people who play this game, they like to pick certain players. Honestly speaking, I'm not a sports fan, but now he educated me a little bit here and there. So I kind of understood why he was super excited. I was teaching just like a LP, but he was using this thing. And I have a couple of students who use this. I have a manager students, those people who were manager Sarah and all, so they selected teams. I have other students who have selected some other kind of thing. So they say this is working, this works. So how does it work? So let's understand the problem. So problem is this: somebody give you skill sets or ranking, skill or ranking table, ranking. Okay, they give you ranking. So now when they give you ranking, these are people and these are your rank or positions. Now, honestly speaking, I did not remember all of them, but I know this is called quarterback. So in football, this is quarterback. I do not know the position, but he was able to explain each and every positions. But these are the positions, like maybe front line or maybe different position. Is there anyone is the football person here who can educate me or educate group? What are these? These are skill sets or positions. Anyone knows football? I know this one is quarterback. It means these are the player. These players are playing these positions when they're playing in a game. Like, you know, if you think about this, what you call playground, the person who is quarterback, I'm sure you have seen Super Bowl, right? The quarterback is the big guy, the main guy, right? So that's the quarterback. But the other player, like when they play, how they play, all the positions are listed here. Now you are asked, you are the captain or whatever you are, or you're building a team, and you are asked to pick the winning team. Winning team. Wow. So how would you pick the winning team? So common sense question. Let's say if you want to pick the team, if somebody give you us this kind of skill sets. Example, if I want to pick like 3 members who know math, science, and English, right? I have member A, B, and C, and I have skill math, science, and English. One got 100, I get 100, 100, 90, 80, 90, 100, 100, 100. So the person who is 100, you will definitely pick because he's the highest, right? Another person 100. But this guy gets 100 in all 3. This guy get 100 in. So if you take this guy 100, then you can't take this because you are only selecting for one position, one person. So if you select math person is here, then this person has 300. You may want to take somewhere science or English like that. So you can select that. The same thing, your player. Now, if you pick one player like Bob, looking his skill sets, you are going to select the highest one. So if you select highest one, like example, you say Bob, your highest is 50. This is Bob highest. And then you see, is anyone else have highest? So there is one person also have. So now your choice to make. You can select Jack or Bob. You can select Jack or Bob as a quarterback, but you can't select both because you can only select one person for one position. Okay, so if you are selecting, just assume if you select Bob for quarterback, then what about Jack? So you can see, is there Jack has any other skill? So Jack also have a 50 here. So Jack has a 2 opportunity because he seems like an expert here. And Bob, Bob also have the, it means if you can select Bob here, then you can select Jack also because you can see they are the expert here. So this way you have to select. So let's talk about Dave. So Dave, poor guy, doesn't have much skill. Do you see that? So it is possible Dave might be least selected. It is possible. If you think about Mike, oh my God, Mike. So Mike has some skill, 35, but already you selected Bob. So Mike cannot be selected here. Now Mike has the highest skill here and here and here. But when you compare in the chart, this guy is highest, so you cannot select here. And if you compare here, this guy has high, so you may not be able to get here. And if you see here, there is a likelihood Mike might be selected here because it's kind of very close ballpark. Oh, this guy is here. So, but you are selecting Jack here, so Jack will not be here. So there is a chance that Mike will get this position. So if you want to do this kind of mapping to find out the highest skilled person, it will take really, really long time. But solver, yes. Make sense? Any questions so far with the problem? What we are trying to solve? This is called football problem or selection problem based on the skills or based on the expertise or ranking. Any questions so far? Give me thumbs up so far if you're understanding. So now the question is, what is the constraint? What is the constraint here? Can anybody help me? What is the constraint here? Because they didn't give anything. That's all they asked. They asked to select the winning team. So what is my constraint? Please help me.
A skill set of the individuals.
Correct, but I need to do an Excel. So in Excel, if I want to do, let's say, left hand and right hand. So what would be the left hand? What would be here? And what would be here? That's what I'm looking for, right? Left hand, what would be the conditions here? And what would be the right hand? So if I want to, sorry, go ahead.
Maybe I can take the average of the skills, then make an equation above the average.
So if I think about, this is the row, right? And if I take average, but I need to select person for a position. He can be selected for only one positions.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe number of wins.
No, those are they given. These are wins. They are given. But what should I put here and what condition I put here and what condition should be in right hand? So let me ask you this thing. Like you are selecting, you are a captain and let's say you have 3 players. Please pay attention. And you have 2 positions. One is A position and one is B positions. So now you're selecting, how would you select? Best, right? So let's say you select this one for A position. Can you select these 2 guys for A position? Yes or no?
No, you can only pick one player per position.
Very good. It means this is the position. If I select any one of them, can I have a second person for that position? Yes or no?
No.
It means my constraints is maximum I can have one. It means sum of this should be 1 or 0. 0 means I did not select, and 1 means I select. But if I have 1 here and 1 here, then sum will be 2, which is incorrect, because it has to be 1. 1 means I selected. So if you select this guy, then rest of people will be 0. Do you guys agree or not? But if you select 1 here, then that guy should not be selected for any position, because he already selected for these positions. Make sense? So this side also, sum should be 1 only. Example, if you select Tom, right? Let's say you select Tom here. It means Tom is selected for this one, right? So if I go here, sum, when I select, it will be 1. It means sum will be 1. And it has to be maximum 1. It means rest of the people are forcefully 0. Why? Because Tom is selected. At the same time, if Tom is selected for these positions, means this is also needs to be 0, because he selected for that positions, means no one else should be selected. So here that position maximum should be 1 and sum should be also 1. Are we understanding? So if I run my model, at the end of the day, I should only see 1, 1, 1 somewhere. But I should, if I go to row, I can only see 1, 1 somewhere, only 1 somewhere. If I go here, if I have 1 here, it means all should be 0. All should be 0. In the same row, everything should be 0 except this one, because that guy is selected for the positions and he can be only selected once. So once Dave is selected for RT, he cannot be selected again for any other position. Do you guys agree or not? Say yes, right? Example, let's think about Mike, Ron, and Amy. Mike, Ron, and Amy. Let's say they selected for math and science. So if I select Ron for math, that's it. No one can be selected for math. Ron is gone. Ron cannot be selected for math and science both. If he's selected, so at that time it's 1 and here 1, you're done. But then if Mike is here and Amy is here, they may have a choice to select. So if they select here, it means Amy is not selected at all. So 1 person, 1 position. That's it. So let's one more time just to give idea. So if Bob wants to be selected, Bob has a highest skill here. So if he's selected here as a 1, everything else for Bob will be 0. It means for this sum, it will be 1. It means Bob is selected. But because Bob is selected quarterback, no one should be selected quarterback. So here, sum should be 1. And that same apply for. So what is my change set then? What is my change set? Change set is I need to select person. So this is my change set. I need to copy and I need to create change set. And then I delete all the value and I will see 1, 1, 1, 1, somewhere 1, 1, like that. I will see something. So why that is 1, 1, 1? Because this 1, 1, please see here, I'll help you. Because this is a change set. You copy this entire thing and then convert that 0, 0, 0. And Excel will select that 1 and multiply this with the scales. Multiply with the scales, and you can see that the sum in that row will be only 1. So you can see 1, 1, 1, 1. And Excel will select such a way that this sum product, this is your cost, easy language, and rank, which you call, and this is called selection. So selection time cost sum product should be highest. Means whatever permutation we select. So you're telling Excel to select the best skill. So it's going to select 50. Wherever the 50 is, it's going to try to select 50. Then it will try to select 40, 45, like that. It means the top-notch people. Excel will select. So here, whoever has won, that person is selected for that positions. Make sense or no? So here Jack is selected here, and this guy LT, so Dave is selected for left side position, and Rick is selected for quarterback. Make sense? So the one means you're selected, that person is selected, and whichever position is selected, he's the only one selected. The entire row and entire column is 0. Make sense? Very powerful. When somebody asks, like example, if you have customers and you want to work with customers or you want to give bonus. So when you want to select customers with the bonus, you need to see what customer has placed order so far. And then you give a solver to solve. And if solver come up with 1, it means that customer is selected. If it's 0, it means customer is not selected. So when your football problem or assignment problem, change set, we are adding one conditions, and that special condition called constraint called binary. Binary constraint will add, and binary means 1 means selected and 0 means not selected. Make sense? Objective functions, you know very well. Objective function is very simple. Your cost factor, this is your cost, time your selection, and that's your sum product. And you will do that objective functions max. This is your change set. This is your change set, but you are saying that change set has to be binary. Change set has to be binary. Why binary? Because 1 means selected and 0 means not selected. And the constraint means talk about only 1 on row side, only 1 on column side. Means person can be only selected 1 in position, and if that position only 1 person should be selected. Got it? If you have a question, please ask. Otherwise, let's do the lab. So we'll go to here. Where did it go? Yeah, here you go. Go to football team. Let me know if you are here. Give me thumbs up. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Now, please understand, this is your data. And you just need to do one thing, highlight and copy. Like this. Control C and give some space and do Control V. Pretty easy. Highlight and do Control C, copy. And Control V means paste. Now you select this and just delete that and change the color so it looks like a change set. Easy. Good. Now here we'll say equal sum, and then you just drag this guy like that. Let me repeat. Here sum parenthesis, and you select this. You see how easy it is? Close this and then double click on it and it calculates that. So if you do that, it just does sum. You just double click on it like this. This tiny thingy is there, right? I normally double click on the tiny thingy and it does magic. Here we'll do equals and then double click on it. And here you do 1 and double click on it. Let me know if you have any questions here.
Yeah, can we repeat just after we copy paste and deleted the content since you started sum?
Yeah, sum.
Thank you.
And then after you do sum, right? And then you just double click on it. Just double click on it. So here you just double click on that and then do equals and then double click on it, and then write 1 and double click on it. The tiny square is the red green. Give me thumbs up if you are able to do so far. Awesome. Trust me, people love this thing, and it's so simple, so simple. Excel make life so simple. And in case if you love fantasy football, now you know how to pick the player. Okay, now same concept here. We'll say here equals sum, and we highlighted this. Okay. So far so good. And close the parenthesis. Press enter. And then you click here and double click on it. So when you double click, if not coming, in that case I will drag and drop. Drag and drop. So you can see now entire thing is sum. If I double click on this side, entire. So sometimes if you double click doesn't work, you just drag this guy. Just drag this guy like that, and it will do sum for you. Make sense? And here equals, and same thing. If it doesn't work, I can drag it. So equals is equals, and here 1, and drag it 1, just like we did here. So we are creating a situation where this is the sum of this row, and we are creating a situation where this is the sum of this thing. You are doing sum here and sum here like that, and this is all 1. And same thing, you are doing sum on a row side. So row side sum, this side, and column side sum, which is this side. Now put somewhere here objective functions. And objective functions, we are saying equals sum product. Sum product. Sum product. You highlight this blue portion, comma, and then you highlight this red portion. Should not be difficult now because you know this thing we've been doing for a while. Okay, now close it, press enter. For learning purpose, we do color coding, so we know that this is going to be our objective functions. Any questions so far with the sum product of objective functions? Good, awesome, thank you, Eva. Now we are just going to do that, and magic, data solver, and magic. And if you get an error, just say reset all, because we have old file. So now I'm going to select this one as the sum product, which is my objective functions. We want max value. So highest skill set people we want to select. Now click here and change set this block. So you are selecting this is your objective functions, and you are selecting this thing as your change set, selecting max. Now we're going to add constraint. We're going to add 3 constraints. One constraint is this one, second constraint is this one, and third constraint will make it that this is the binary value, means 1 or 0, means you cannot write anything here. We say just write 1 or 0, because that will 1 means you selected that player. Okay, so let's do add, highlight this one, it's everything same, so let's do equal, and then constraint 1. Pretty easy. You select this one, You select this one and you select this one here. Now do OK. So that part is clear. That's not hard. Let's do add one more and highlight this portion. Make sure you select equal and highlight this portion and do add. That part is done. But the last but most important, select change set like this. And here, don't forget to select binary. Because if you select binary, you are giving a clue that you can select 1 and 0. So computer will select 1 and 0. That's the clue, binary. You will say, why binary? Because we talk about one person selected for position, and that position no one is selected. So that's 1 means selected on and 0 means off. So that's the binary. After doing that, either you do add or OK. So you have 3 constraints. Please understand, objective functions is selected here. Max is the value. Change set is this pink. Then constraint 1 is here. That's the A constraint. Then B constraint. And then we selected entire thing and we'll say it's a binary. Simplex LP and solve it and see who are selected. And give me congratulations. If you are able to see, your sometime value might be different than mine because some people might have. So you can see Bill is selected. Let's see how Bill is doing good. So Bill is selected in RT, which makes sense. And Bob is selected in TB, which does make sense. Mike is selected here, which is 20 because other people are smart somewhere and they're selected. Dave selected in LT. So Dave selected in LT, which makes sense. Highest skill he has. We talk about Rick is selected in quarterback. Rick is selected in quarterback. This one, which makes sense, right? So computer selected the people or person based on the highest strength or sub highest strength, because sometimes highest strengths are in 2 places, but this guy has a much higher strength. So that's why this guy is selected, Bob is selected here. If you are not selected here, second strength is here, so opportunity. Sometime if you are not selected here, like example here, if this is selected, then it will go to the lower till it find. This algorithm does a lot of calculations. We are getting answer in a 1 second or 2 seconds because we are using a very smart computer. This used to people do Excel, calculator through. And that is the reason all books are showing calculator, which is nothing but matrix. So in case if you have studied 5th or 6th grade matrix, this is called A matrix. Then this is called B matrix, which is this one. And then you do A dot B matrix, which is the multiplication of matrix. In case if you know that long time back you have studied, like as an example, you have x1, x2, x3, right? X4, x5, let's just an example. And then here you have y1, y2, y3, like that. And you have y4, y5, y6. In case if you know math, I used to teach math and I love math. So in that case, what you do, A times B means you do this way. You go here, right? And then you go here. So like example, if you say, you know what, I wanna do multiplication. So if you take this one, so you will say x1 times y1 like that, and then you multiply that, right? That is very complex. Nowadays, no one does that because people use, if you know that we are using TI calculator, right? And in calculator, you plug it in, and even nowadays school also allow calculator and matrix calculation done that. In case if you study statistics, nowadays like TI 89, 98, whatever the calculator does, you put that thing, boom, you calculate it. We are using Excel. Guys, we don't need any math. All math is gone. We can do through Excel. We don't need to know that details. So that's why selection is quite easy through solver. Did you guys get 410?
Yes.
Got it or no? How easy it is selecting the best player in the world. Huh? But no, so this is another example we have. So I'm hoping all of you have done. Anyone has any questions?
Yeah, I'm not clear with the concept binary.
Sorry, could you repeat? Your voice is not coming clear.
I'm not clear with the concept binary.
So first of all, do you have an electric switch at your house? Right?
Yeah,
You have only two positions, on and off. Right? So when you do on, light bulb happens. It happens on. Yes or no?
yeah,
It means circuits is passing the current. So that's on means 1. Because in numeric form, we say 1 means on and 0 means off. So sometimes say you are on, right? We say sometimes you're on. What means you're selected, right? You are selected.
yeah,
So that's why we are using 1 and 0. Now, if your switch is on, means what? Light bulb starts, right? Yes or no?
yeah,
Same thing. If this switch is on, it means this person starts and he will work for this position. You are creating circuit. This person will play this role. This person will play this role. This person will play this role. Rest of the people have 0, means they are not doing anything. Make sense? So when you select binary, means you are selecting person, a particular person, just like turning light on and off. Same thing, we are turning person. We say, hey, you're on. Rick, you're quarterback. Tom, you're doing this. So we're creating a circuit for that. And that circuit gives you calculations. So wherever you have one, the objective functions is going to take, see, for this guy, objective function say you are 50 because this one is 50. So objective say 50. Then plus this guy, objective function says this one is 30. Like that. It will add. And then for this guy, John, LG, this guy, John, LG, which is this, it's 50. So if you do all this thing, right, you will get 410. So when you want to do one, only when the person has a highest skill, and collectively, collective skill has to be objective function, which is the highest. And that's why we are doing. There is no other way. There is no other way. Either you are selected or you're not selected. So you have only two conditions. Either you are selected or you're not selected. There is no other conditions. Do you agree or not?
yeah.
So that is the reason we are using binary. When you have two choice only, on and off, select or not select, that's called binary. Make sense or not?
Yeah, I
If
got
you
it.
only have two selection, that's called binary. That's why we are using binary.
Thank you.
Good. Any other questions? Right? Okay. So I think that's a similar exercise you have in homework. So you can see that our homeworks are there, and I want to just give you the clue so you can do the homework. You can do today or tomorrow, but most of the exercise will be based on this. So we cover this particular transportations, and then we cover this binary. Now I'm giving you a clue for other exercise. So you can see here, I clearly mark here transportation problem. So transportation problem, you can select that and do the change sets, multiply by this thing, objective functions. They have given like what is the minimum they want. So you can see a company has 2 plants, unit production. Each plant produce at most 60 and needs at least 40 units. So now let's see here. In this exercise, I'm not going to solve, I'm just going to give you hint here. So when you do the homework, you can do that. Each plant produce most 60 unit. What does it mean? This is the plant. It produce most 60. So if I put 60 here, what does it mean here? Greater than, less than, equals, what does it mean?
Less than or equal to.
Very good. So you are getting less than equal to, and here you're going to do sum. Do you guys agree or no? Sum of your chain set. You are going to do sum of the chain set, and you're going to do sum of the chain set. And same thing here, that each distribution center needs at least 40 units. At least 40 units. So 40, 40, 40. Makes sense or no? And you do sum of this and make it greater than equal to sum of this greater than equal to, and that is the exercise number 1 we did. So the exercise number 1 we did here, it is like that. So it's exactly same thing here. Here you are doing 60, here you are doing 40, right? Concept is same. If I change this value to that value, put change set to 0, and sum here, sum here, sum here, sum here, sum, and the objective function is nothing but take this item, multiply some product with this item, and you keep it max, and you get the answer. You have example. So doing this will take less than maybe 5 minutes. You just plug the number, because you don't have to do anything, because everything is done. Sum is done and all. You just change this data, change this value, click here, run the objective functions, you get a value. Do you think yes or no? Doable? Right? Pretty easy. It won't take long than maybe 5 minutes. See, I'm explaining. If you're not very clear, you should ask question. If you still don't know clear, watch recording. And if you're still not, you should try. The more you try, easier it becomes, because this problem solving is not, it's just a process. Once you understand the process, it's the same problem. It will take less than 2 minutes, actually speaking, right? Now, if I go here, now let's see here, what is the problem? The coach of the swim team needs to assign swimmer 200 yards, right? So 4 swimmer, each swim 50 yards on a 4-stroke. Since most of the swimmers are very fast and more, not clear which swimmer should be assigned. So here's swimmer. Swimmer, it looks like a football game, right? And they have a stroke. So these are people, and these are position. And there are skill sets. And now they're asking about the 5 fastest swimmer to select. It means select means if it's on, like I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Out of 5, which one should be based here? Which one should be based here? Which one should be based here? Which one? Oh, I know this. This is a football game. So it means pick this item, plug it here, right? Plug this thing. Where did it go? Sorry. Here, plug it this thing, and then copy that and create change set equal to 1, and just run that. Boom. Then less than 2 minutes, answer will be in front of you. I kind of give you hint here also. What else you need, right? Complete hint is given to you. Make sense or no? When I'm selecting, it's 1, it means extra constraint is the binary. Change set is binary. Questions?
How do I cross-check my answer, whether it is correct or not?
That's the reason I was saying, right? When you select 1 here.
No. Anytime if I solve a problem, if I want to check my answer myself, is there
That's
any
what I'm trying to explain. That's what I'm trying to explain. This is called litmus test. Litmus test. You always should do. See, you selected this guy. Do you agree? Say yes or no. You selected Carl Murphy.
Yeah.
So you need to see, does Carl is an expert here? So you can see Carl, there are many people are expert here. Do you see that? So then why Carl is selected? So then you have to say, oh, maybe wrong. This may not be right. So then what you can see, if Carl is selected here, he has only 29.2. Then the question is, why this guy is not selected? So now you can see Ken, but Ken is selected in nowhere. It means this is the reverse function. I think they might be asking the slowest person. 1 second. Yeah, because it's a swim, right? You see, it is a swim. It means if I take 30 seconds, I'm slow. And if I take 29 seconds, I'm fast. Do you guys agree or not? So this is the reverse problem. In swimmer, if you take more time, you're slow. Do you agree or not? And if you take less time, you're fast. So in that case, this guy should not be selected. You can see he's the slowest guy. He's not selected at all. And then out of this many people, this one and this one has almost closest. So the question is why these people are not selected and our friend Carl is selected. It means there's something wrong here. So let's check here. So this guy 28.5 is selected here because they selected this guy here. So okay, I got it compared to that. So that guy is selected here. Now why he is selected here? Because you can see here in this range Carl was very bad. This one is okay. So we are tied with these two guys. So from there they selected this. It means now I need to know why Chris is not selected. So in this case Chris is supposed to be selected. Then they realize that Chris is better here. You see? So it will try to select the person who is the appropriate. So you have to do litmus test. This is the only way you can see. If someone is the, like in swimming, if someone is the fastest one, and if that guy is not selected and everywhere 0, that's a problem. And someone is slowest is selected, then your model is not right. So in this exercise, this guy has a high number. It did not select it. But if you see here, this exercise, this guy has the lowest number here. This guy has the lowest number and lowest number. So out of these, one should be selected. Yes, it is. If you see this guy has lowest number, but then there are 2 numbers are here. So then this number is, so he's selected. Compared to this guy is higher. That's why this guy is not selected. Now, if I go here, this guy has this number, but if you compare this guy, this is the worst. So he didn't select, but they selected. Make sense? So you have to do litmus check. Good news, if constraints are matching and some of the litmus test is passing, your solution will be close to right. Let me repeat, close to right. You cannot say perfect, or you cannot say best. It's close to right because it's a random forest, because it's based on iteration. It is figured out. It is possible one person might get 127 and one person may get 131. That's okay. But you are not getting worse answer called 90. Between you and others, the error will be like 1 or 2, which is kind of okay. So that's what it is. But you have to check the litmus test. Any other questions? Okay. So, and this one, just like we did Excel project, we had a group, right? I would encourage you to work in a group and do this case study. In this case study, you have to read this thing, okay? And you have to come up with the formula and you have to come up with this. I will give you the solutions next week. Okay. I had many students completed, but one student, I think I believe it's WYN, I think. So he did a very good job. So I have his solutions. I'll share with you guys, but this is a case study. So sometimes if you do this kind of thing, you will understand how it works. And if you need more example, I can happy to add more example. But there is a book called Quantitative Analysis. It has a lot of functions. And if you want, I can add a whole in a PDF file so you can play around, but you don't have to spend too much time because these are like few example. If you know, one is the product mix, right? Which we did. Second is the supply chain, right? Which we did. And third is the football game. Now supply chain has another thing called network transportation. Supply chain actually has a lot of solutions. So example, if you come like this, then this one is network also and supply chain also. So right now you did supply chain, means you are getting like this way, distributions, right? You have like this. You are going this way. But if you do network in that, like this way, network has a little bit different, but concept is same. Like example, you have one distribution center, and from there you're going to 2 warehouse. And from this warehouse, you're going to 3 customers. And from this also, you can go to this customer. Now, if I do this exercise, this is called network diagram, network solutions. It is one step forward. So in that case, you have to do multiple you have to create a proper solution. So you have to, first of all, from here to here, you have to solve this. And when you solve here to here, so example, if your capacity is 50, then you need to ask what is the demand here. Same thing. So you solve this problem. Once you solve this problem, you will know here your capacity, which is capacity 1 and 2. And then you solve this problem. So you have to solve this problem in a multiple phase. That's why it's called network problem. Because example, you're getting item from China. Are you getting from cargo? Are you getting from ship? How are you getting to New York? Maybe Florida, right? So that's one problem. And from there, you are taking train or truck. How are you getting? That's another problem. From there, how are you getting to retails? Another problem. So you take this problem because you know this is independent. From here to here, Florida has no connection with this thing. Florida is only dependent on China because you are getting supply from there. But then from here, you have another model, which is this model. So you have to do this exercise. But you cannot do this exercise until you know how much you are getting from different sources. So once you get it, you know now you're defined, you know the defined limit. Once you know the defined limit, you can go from here and you find, once you know that, so sometimes your problem will go through multiple things. So these are like way complexity increase. Again, as you go further, you will know more about it. Any questions, concerns, doubt? Good. So a couple of announcements. I just want to make sure